Hello everyone, welcome to HR365 Expense Reimbursement Application. Here I'm going to give you a brief overview of HR365 Expense Reimbursement Application. HR365's expense reimbursement saves time in managing your expenses. It is easy to use our employee expense reimbursement solution. It reduces the time needed for managing your expenses, increases your employees' productivity, allows you to take control of business expenses, and move to paperless expense reports. This application has the ability to apply various expenses under expense categories like regular, local conveyance, and CTC reimbursement. In regular expense reimbursement form, you can fill up the details of your expenses used for your organization, like the title of your expense, cost centers, projects, start and end date of using the expense. Here, the date is automatically fetched from the start date that you have specified. We have already defined the type of expenses like meal, hotel, transport, internet, mobile, and others. And if you would like to add more as an admin or HR, you can add more expenses through settings. Here, you can mention the description and the amount spent for the expenses. Here, the employee can upload their bills of their expenses in the attachment field for the witness purpose. You can even add multiple expenses in a single form by clicking on Add More Expenses. This expense report will be sent for manager's approval. You can add additional approvers in case a manager is on leave. The user can save and preview the expense form details, and if the user is not certain to apply for the expense reimbursement at the moment, they can save it as a draft and finally submit for approval. Once the user submits the expense form for approval, that item would be added here. You can also get the status of the expenses reimbursement here. It has two-level approval workflow, manager level and finance level approval. Initially, an email would be triggered to the employee's manager for expense reimbursement approval along with the approval form link. Here, the manager verifies those expense details before approving the request. Once a manager approves, this request moves to the finance department. This will send an email to the finance team for the second-level approval along with the approval form link. In the finance approval form, the finance team will validate the details and can approve the expenses partially or in total. Once the expense reimbursement request is approved by the finance team, an employee will get an email regarding the approve or reject status of the applied expenses. Similarly, in local conveyance expense reimbursement, you can apply for the travel mode expenses like bike, cab, bus, and flight. Location start and ending points, travel distance, and the fuel rate would be automatically calculated based upon the distance and mode of transport, then submit for the approve. In our CTC expense reimbursement form, you can reimburse the expenses from the CTC as per the company options, like books and periodical, fuel, LTA, medical, etc., and mention the expense amount and click on the Submit for Approve. This request item would be added into the CTC tab. Here, we have provided a single-level workflow for the CTC expense reimbursement. Here, the HR is the only final approver. Once the HR approved, an email would be triggered to the employee along with the approval status as approved or rejected. You can check the status of expenses in draft, in process, approved, and rejected as well. A manager can see the Manager Action tab, check the status of the expense request of his employees, and approve their request. A finance manager or finance team member has the ability to approve this expense as the second-level approver. They can approve it through the email approval form link or through the application. Thank you for spending time with us. I hope I have covered most of the important points. If you would like more information, please don't hesitate to contact us.